Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Old School Live. So glad you all could join us for our anniversary celebration. We know these are challenging times as we are in sheltering in place, but we hope that tonight is both an opportunity to come together in community with others as well as learn about Old School Cafe. My name is Eric, and I am one of your hosts for the evening. Uh, I, along with my wife and family, have been supporters of Old School for over 10 years, and we've appreciated watching because we live in the neighborhood. Old School grow and evolve, and young people having their lives transformed. And so, we're glad that you all are here with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Connie, and I'm your other co-host for tonight's event. I had initially heard about Old School through my church, actually, about 8 years ago, and have been a supporter ever since. So super excited to be celebrating 16 years of Old School serving young people in the community and 8 years of being open in Mendel Plaza as a full-service supper club. We have a really special evening planned for you. We'll have live music by the Melody of Grace duo, a chat with Old School's founder, Teresa Goins, interviews with a couple of Old School's youth and alumni, an overview of Old School's current needs and ways you can get involved. And at the end, we are going to be offering raffle prizes to 2 lucky winners. So leave a comment in the chat box, and you could be chosen to win a t-shirt or an Old School Cafe gift card. Also, following tonight's celebration, we are going to give you the chance to speak with Old School's founder, Teresa Goins, directly. So stick around, say hello, and connect with Teresa after the program. All right, so up first, we have the Melody of Grace duo. Not sure if you've been to Old School, but one of the coolest things about them is they have live music performed by volunteer youth every single night. The Melody of Grace duo is a brother and sister team who are super passionate about Old School's mission and are looking forward to performing at Old School when the restaurant reopens. So please join me in welcoming the Melody of Grace duo.
Hi, I'm Elshon. I'm 14 years old and I'll be playing the piano.
Hi, my name is Lavelle. I'm 11 years old and I'll be playing Who You Say I Am on the harp.
And we're both really big supporters of the Old School Cafe.
Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Always up for me. Always up for me. Yes, I'm set free. Who is free indeed? I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Free at last, He has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, He died for me. The Son set free. Who is free indeed? I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am who you say I am. The sun set indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am.
Wow, that was so awesome. Thank you so much, Melody of Grace. We'll be hearing from them again. And remember, you will hear them every night at Old School and other amazing young people. So another reason to support Old School Cafe. Now, for those who are just learning about Old School Cafe, we're going to share a powerful video in just a moment that captures the heart of Old School Cafe. And for those who have been supporting for some time, first, thank you for that support. And secondly, this will be a great reminder to you of the ways in which you are helping to transform the lives of young people in our community. Take a look.
I'm Leonard Ferguson. I don't know who I am yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But before, I used to be called a monster, because I never cared about nobody. I didn't love nobody. I hated everybody that was in my path.
I used to be in a gang. I sold lots of different drugs. I've done drugs. I used to rob people and just do all around bad things.
Like when you grow up in a war zone, like people think, just watching on TV, it's way different than you being living in it. And seeing guns, seeing people get chopped off, like just a slice of meat.
When I would watch my mom and dad fight, and it just gets so crazy where, they're throwing dishes, he's taking out knives and stuff. I mean, I know I cried because when you get scared as a child, you cry. But at the same time, I was just like, oh, this is how life is.
He said he started drug dealing when he was 3. And I was like, how do you start drug dealing at 3? And he says, well, my dad was the big drug dealer in the town, and he would give me this bag of something and say, take it down to the neighbor's house. So if your earliest memories are your dad teaching you to be a good soldier, I don't know if I have the words, but it's like instead of like a dad that's a carpenter giving tools and teaching him how to do it, they've not only not given tools, but they've, by the abuse and by the neglect, they've also stripped them and they have holes. You're constantly grabbing for anything to fill those holes of pain.
Never been happy in my whole life, never. I've been mad my whole life, never been happy, not one time. That's why I always drink and always smoke to take away the pain, but it always come back, so I just get another bottle and drink some more.
I feel like the heart of it started when I was a correction officer working with boys that were in gangs. We watch the revolving door, they get out, they come back, and I just thought, there's gotta be, this is horrible. So I would be looking really tough, right, in my combat fatigues and combat boots during the day and military commands, gentlemen, attention. And then I would cry on the way home. In the middle of the night, I would literally wake up and I would just see it, and it would be, okay, so the kids are running it. So there'd be the business aspect if they wanted to learn that, or cooking, or serving, or hosting, or performing. Here's 10 different things that you can find what your niche is, and will mentor you as an apprentice, and you could just fly.
I'm glad I met Teresa. She changed my whole life. She taught me how to be a better man and how to be a better person.
First of all, that's my mother. Without Old School, it would be a hard time right now, trust me. To be honest with you, I feel I was supposed to be in jail right now.
That's why I like coming here. It just makes me feel better about my life. It gives me hope. Because if I wasn't here, I'd have no hope.
All the stuff I did in my past, I can't change it, but I can fix it. I can change for the better.
We don't want to be labeled with our mistakes for the rest of our life. That's not who we are. Old School providing a place that pulls all that down and pulls back all those labels and says, you're safe here. We see the gold in you, and we want other people to see the gold in you, because that's who you really are.
I enjoy being in the kitchen, because I love being with the family in the kitchen.
It's like my own world. I I can control everything.
Just giving me the opportunity to feel useful, like there's somewhere I can help or somewhere I can grow and be a better person, whether it's me doing poetry, singing, or even just being a manager. I get to find myself, like find out who I really want to be.
So she's been washing and she's been scrubbing since daylight, but even after that, still she don't feel right. Been skipping meals, she was too disgusted to work up an appetite, and half the night she's spent dreading the sound of her name being called. Answer when he calls your name. Her mother would always say, home should have been her base. Home should have been where she felt most safe, but instead, every minute now he'll be coming, and I look at her and I tell her, run. Run and don't you look back, you just keep on running. Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left. Exhausted as she takes every step. Do not fall back, soldier. But he calls for her name. Sir. Yes, sir.
Whew. It's just really humbling, I think, to get a chance to be a small part of believing in some of these young people and giving them a chance at life. But I so feel like it's them, you know, like I'm just so like my heart feels like it wants to explode when I see them really push past to get to have Old Skool, to get to have a real place. So when I see somebody's really desperate, I can say, come on over. You know, we have a job for you. But it's real life-changing opportunities to be able to offer that and to not feel helpless when tragic things are happening. That is like,
We
are Old Skool. Come on, people, come visit. We're looking for you guys.
Wow, 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 wow. What a powerful video. It's amazing what has happened in the lives of these young people. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce to some and welcome to others, Teresa Goins, Mama T, to many of our young people, the founder of Old Skool Cafe. Hi, Teresa.
Hello. Great to be
How
with
are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Doing well. Thank you. So let's start from the beginning. Tell us, please, share with us how this all began, the history of Old Skool Cafe.
Absolutely. Well, it's so I love that video because I think our youth so tell it best, but I will do my best to share a little of my backstory. But I wanted to start with a moment just because of sort of where we are at today with what's going on and why we're all meeting in our homes. But together, I just want to start with a word of encouragement for everybody during this challenging time. I really believe that some of the most creative solutions and beautiful acts of humanity actually come out of times like these and out of times of crisis. So I'm actually really hopeful and seeing like all the messages I'm already seeing and seeing your faces, like this is what community and family is. And the fact that you all are coming together from your homes and still standing with us and standing with youth and people in our community that need us and we need them. It's just, I don't know, it fills my heart. So I just want to say, take a moment to say this community here tonight. I believe a lot of the solutions that are going to come through this hard time are right here. So if you could just go to the top screen and press the gallery view. I don't know if you've done that already, but I'd love for you guys to see who all is here. And this is where I believe so much of our healing, the creative solutions, and things that are going to come from this time. This is where the hope is. So just wanted you to see what I get to see. And then you could just take it back to speaker view. And throughout the time, it's kind of fun to see who is here. Okay, so back to kind of the background. So I was reflecting on sort of what compelled me to start Old Skool. And I was thinking about how, as I was a juvenile correction officer, is basically seeing these young people in a situation of hopelessness. And, here I am, 22, right out of college. And it was hearing sort of the the stories that they would share and becoming immersed in this world that was, I kind of call like the underbelly of society, and seeing that this was their daily reality, watching them live and grow up behind bars. 14 and 15-year-olds that weren't even dreaming about prom or playing sports or having a family someday, because they really felt like, I may not even live to see my 18th birthday, so why should I even dream about any of those things or care about college or education? And so I really started doing a lot of listening to, well, what do you feel like it would take for you to break out of this cycle and to have a different future versus, instead of just being killed or going to prison. Three things I heard over and over were, well, a job, but nobody's hiring me because I have a felony. And the other things that the gangs were offering was a sense of community and family. You had brothers that had your back, that were putting shoes on your feet, clothes, some cash in your pocket, food in your belly, and employment, right? As well as that sense of they belonged. And the last thing was kind of purpose. Like they were somebody. If you were a part of this gang, you were no longer a nobody, you were somebody. And especially for a lot of our youth that had a lot of trauma going on in their homes, that felt really good to matter and to feel like you belonged. So that's where I thought, well, if we're not able to, create a healthier alternative, why would you choose less? We're always going to choose what seems like the best option, right? And so started asking God to give me a real solution that would address the economics, real jobs that even if they've got a felony, that's going to address family, community, and purpose. And so that's really where the vision of Old Skool Cafe came from.
That's so awesome. Thank you. So today we have this youth-run supper club, amazing food and entertainment. I guess I thought you were going to tell me a little bit about your past history in running restaurants or other kinds of related businesses, but that wasn't the case. So how did you start it then?
So I started it out of my home with what I had. So my little apartment, Tiffany, who's going to share later, often talks about how I had no furniture at the time. I just had pillows on the floor because my roommate had moved out and she's the one that had the furniture, right? So I literally just started it with what I had. And so from there we did mentorship. I would find volunteer chefs that would come over and do the training. People that worked in the restaurant industry would teach how to serve. We just, again, we did pop-ups. I had a place, I had my living room, so you can see right there, we literally just got some linens and just popped up what you see in the restaurant today. We just did in my home. We did, we found restaurants, nights they were closed, like Sundays, and we would do gospel brunches. We did big events at a salsa club for like our galas. We also did, here's some fun things, we got to cater for our bank, for public. We also did things like teas. We just got to be creative, right? So this was a piano store, and we actually did a high tea in a piano store. Because again, wherever I can get free space, this is how we did it, right? And we even did a pop-up high tea at the Bayview Opera House with the whole Westmont Symphony. So it was just a really special creative time of how do we show providing jobs, but also a sense of community and family.
It's amazing. So much work done to, again, support these young people on their journeys. So how long did you do this old school work out of your home and through these pop-up events? And when did you finally get the building, and how did that happen?
Yeah, so definitely longer than I thought, Eric. So, that's part of the beauty of being young and a dreamer. I thought this idea is going to work. People are going to love it and support it. Of course, I didn't. So I thought maybe 2 years we'd be up and running, have a restaurant. But I didn't bank on the fact that people would be like, wait, so you have no restaurant experience, you have no business experience, you have no celebrity chef, no building, no money. Yeah, and you'd like me to invest in it? Oh, and you're going to hire young people coming out of jail and challenging foster care and challenging situations that never worked before, and run one of the hardest businesses to run with all of those things. So
Wow.
yeah, so let's just say 8 years I did pop-ups and did it out of my home, and my home was kind of like a drop-in center. So Saturdays it'd be like knock, knock, knock. Hey, we just want to hang out, So, and then 8 years ago, this month, April, we've been open as a full jazz supper club to the public. So 16 years in total. So definitely longer than 2 years. So yeah, so here's the fun part. So we got the building in 2011, and from a church, there was some pastors that invited me to come share what I was doing, wanted other people to get behind and support. They asked, "What's your biggest needs?" I said, "A building, because I'm still in my house." And so they gave us really low rent. So we moved in, we were able to renovate it. So you see the young people are thrilled getting to do the demo part. That was the best part for them. But they were a part of building it from the ground up. So literally they're using power tools, they're painting, they have their name inscribed in the wall in one place in particular. And so it really truly was a youth run supper club from the beginnings in my house to building it to now what it looks now. For those of you that you have not been there, you got to see the before, and then the after is kind of fun and exciting.
It's more than fun and exciting. That is amazing. So not only did these young people get a chance to learn to run a restaurant, got to build a building. That's pretty cool. So you did all that great work, created this amazing space. You're teaching young people, bringing community in, and then the coronavirus hit. So I'm sure, like most other places, you guys have been affected. You can't do your galas or other kinds of events. You can't do your nightly dinners. So how have you all been affected, and what are you doing currently?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Definitely. So we're a restaurant, but a nonprofit program. So we kind of got double hit in a way. So
Hmm.
the restaurant was a big portion of how we made some income. We lost the restaurant catering, but then on the other side of the donor dinners, the galas, we also couldn't do that. So initially I was like, but I'm super grateful for all the support. So we just pivoted pretty quickly. Say, okay, nothing we're all here, right? We're all in the same situation. So we've just got to be innovative and creative. So by the next week after the shutdown, we started everyday classes for the youth. So we offer 3 workshops a day, 5 days a week. So our chef is teaching a back of the house. So we're really having fun with it because there's so many things that when the restaurant's open, super busy, some of those detailed things recipes and kind of fun things we're getting a chance to teach. So back of the house, front of the house, we're doing life skills. They get time with their coach every week as well. And then we do one meeting that's all of us just checking in.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing okay, making sure everybody has enough food. And the beauty of this is that we're really trying to keep all of our youth paid. So for every workshop that they attend, they get paid. And this is really important, and why the support of our community is so critical, because a lot of our young people, this is a source of their income. Many of them are helping their family pay rent, pay bills, and food. So we want to make sure during this shutdown that all of our youth and their families are okay and able to make it through healthily.
Right, that's so important. And love the way you all have transitioned and are leveraging the technology like many of us are, right, to continue to support your young people. One quick question. What are the requirements, or are there any requirements for young people to be accepted at Old School?
Yes, so it is specifically, we want to really reserve it for youth that have a need, that wouldn't necessarily be able to just go out and get another job elsewhere without maybe some of that support. So we do ask that they either have some juvenile justice involvement, so having been arrested or on probation, foster care, coming from a situation of poverty, dropped out of school, having any kind of at-risk factors going on is the requirement. And 16 to 20.
Wow, 16 to 22.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
most of the things that would disqualify you for a job are actually what qualify you for a job at Old School.
That's awesome. So young people who perhaps think they've made the kinds of mistakes that won't give them a chance,
Right.
you all make that chance possible.
You
That's
got
so awesome. So given, all that's happening now, how can we help?
I'm so glad you asked, Eric. So I always try to keep it very simple because we're a social enterprise. So it's easy to remember that these are 3 ways I always say when we're not in coronavirus. So I'm just going to expand on them a little bit. So dine, donate, and share. So dine, so we just have to be creative with dining, right? So now we're going to talk about future dining. So because you can't come into the restaurant yet to dine, you can buy a future dining experience via gift card or share that with somebody else. You can also start thinking about us for future catering or private events and just send us an email and say, hey, as soon as you guys are open, we'd love to hire you or do a private event there. So that's the dining part. Then donate. So donate is really important again because we're providing wraparound support services for our youth. We're making sure they're getting paid. So you can give tonight. You can just go straight onto our website, oldschoolcafe.org. You can give a one-time gift. You can also, if you don't like to give online, you can send a check to our address there on the screen. And you can also become a monthly donor. We have several that have been giving monthly. That is a part of sort of our sustainability and our base. So that's the donate part and a great support to us. And the lastly is sharing. So we've had many people say, wow, I've never even heard of Old School Cafe, or it's a best kept secret in San Francisco. So we need your help. We have so many amazing people on this call to help us not be a secret anymore. So please share, especially if you're a supporter, say, hey, this is why I support Old School. I dine there, I donate. This is a great way to give back. So please share. And we've made it easy. So it's just at Old School Cafe on all of our social media. So you don't have to remember anything tricky.
That's awesome. So let me make sure I got it. Dine, I can phone ahead and pick up a great meal, or I can buy a gift card, both for myself and maybe buy gift cards for friends. I can donate, so I can go online, right? oldschool.org/give. I can write a big check and mail it to you. Or, and equally as important, I can share. I can tell my friends why I love Old School, why I support Old School. Excellent. Well, tonight we have over 70 people joining us, so hopefully everyone will do their part to dine, donate, and share. That's so very awesome. So thank you so much for chatting with us, Teresa. So just a reminder, there is going to be an opportunity at the end of our program for any and everyone to engage with Teresa at the end of our program. So please go along with us on the journey, and then Teresa will come back and we'll have a chance to engage with her. So thanks for now, Teresa.
Thank you, Eric.
Absolutely. So you saw video, you've heard tell of these young people whose lives have been impacted positively by Old School. Now we're excited to hear from 2 of them, Tiffany and Amaya. Tiffany is an Old School alumni, and Amaya is currently in our program. So Tiffany, let's start with you.
Hi.
Hi there. So thanks so much for being with us tonight. Thanks for being a part of the Old School community, and we really appreciate all that you have done. So let's start. How did you find out about Old School, and how old were you?
So I was 15 years old. I was a part of a youth program through my church, and we went on a field trip. We show up to some house, and there's literally no furniture. Teresa spoke about that. There's just pillows and people hanging out talking. And from that day on is when I learned about what Old School was about. And for me, it wasn't the restaurant piece. It was more so the mentoring program. And that's kind of the part that I gravitated towards early on.
So you got the early Old School experience in the empty house, but the wonderful community. So how would you describe the Old School to someone who's never heard of Old School or experienced it?
So I would say like now it's just a youth-run supper club geared towards helping at-risk and previously incarcerated youth. But for me at that time, it was a program, it was a safe space. At that time, I was dealing with finding out who my biological father was. and hiding it from my mom. So I was just in a really vulnerable place and I needed community. And at that time, community was only Teresa. Are you there? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Community was only Teresa. So I needed something, and she provided that, an outlet, a safe space, a place where I could build confidence, because I wasn't good in school and I was shy and I was depressed and suicidal. And so Old School was just that place for me. It was a home.
That is wonderful. So Mama T was there for you.
Yes, she was. God,
That's
and she
awesome.
still is.
Yes. Awesome. So what has your career path been after Old School?
So I have since graduated from college with a Bachelor of Arts, and I have a master's degree from USC in screenwriting.
Wow.
I'm actually the first youth of Old School to graduate from college and to get a master's degree. So I'm really proud of that.
As you should be.
Then I write every day, but my day to day, I'm a leasing consultant. So a little bit outside of the film world, but definitely down a good path. So I'm happy. Oh,
what's your big dream? What's your dream?
My big dream.
Yes.
My big dream is to be the first Black woman to win the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. So there's been a Black man, Jordan Peele's won for Get Out, but I want to be the first Black woman.
That's
kind
so
of a tall
awesome.
order, but a little faith and hard work.
You can do it. You can do it. We believe in you. So, two more questions. So what is the advice you'd share with your younger self?
The advice I would share with my younger self. So when I was 15, I needed a lot of help. I wasn't in a good space. But even in needing help, I still was kind of shy or embarrassed or ashamed to ask for help. So I would tell my younger self to ask for help, be open, and don't be ashamed, because there's so many people in the world who want to help you, but if you never ask, then how are they going to know? So I would say just to be open to help. That's what I would say.
That's wonderful. I think that's true for all of us. So thank you for that great advice. Yeah. Last question, probably the most important question I will ask you tonight. So, no one the last time you've been to Old School, but for me, my favorite dish, the fried chicken. Oh my goodness. More than and better than finger licking good. Just delicious. So, what's your favorite dish?
Okay, so I've had everything on the menu, but hands down favorite item on the menu is the shrimp and grits. It is so good. I always go to Old School and I plan on having something else because everything is good, but I always go back to the shrimp and grits. And then for dessert, I have the same dessert. I have the the cinnamon bread pudding with the cinnamon gelato. Ooh. It's so good. It's just like the epitome of comfort food. So those are my favorites. Everybody have the shrimp and grits and the bread pudding.
That's so awesome. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for sharing your time with us tonight, and more importantly, sharing your story with us tonight. It's so inspiring. And so let me be the first to say, and the Oscar goes to Tiffany Fuller.
Yes.
We look forward to that day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time tonight.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
That was awesome. Thanks, Tiffany. And now I would like to welcome Amaya. Hi, Amaya. Amaya's currently part of the program.
Hi, Connie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, Connie. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So you're currently a senior in high school. Is that right?
Yes, Connie. I am currently a senior in high school.
And how did you find out about Old School?
So I initially found out about Old School last year. I had an internship with a partnering organization called Westside Johnny. And my internship was coming to an end last summer around August. Lucky for me, Old School was recruiting for a new cohort. So I was referred to Old School, and I've been at Old School since August.
That's awesome. So would love to, I guess, just hear about your experience with Old School, what it means to you, and how you feel like it's impacted your life so far.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Old School to me is considered a supportive family where I don't feel like I'm alone. Old School has impacted my life by providing me with a second chance to push myself to my fullest potential. While working at Old School, I have learned that my mistakes from 2 years ago do not define who I am today. Also, wherever I was yesterday, I will be 2 steps ahead tomorrow.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess, how would you say Old School is different from other programs you may have been involved in or heard about?
Yeah, Old School is different from other programs because it's designed to provide at-risk youth with life coaches, life skills, hands-on kitchen training, and job readiness, Connie. Even after the youth complete their full Old School term, the doors of Old School Cafe support are open for forever. So that is one thing I personally appreciate, and that is my personal definition of how I consider Old School to be different.
That's awesome. So how have you and your family been doing during this kind of weird season of social distance?
Yeah, so my family and myself are doing well. Thank you for asking. It's been an adjustment as far as working from home, but I am managing. The Old School online trainings are informative and it is making our team stronger. During these online trainings, I am learning new restaurant details that will be beneficial for when we open back up. I am glad to see our Old School team still standing strong.
Yeah, I think it's so awesome that you're able to do that online and keep the training going.
Yes.
Okay, so just curious, what are your plans for the future? Do you have a dream job?
Yeah, before joining the Old School family, I personally do not have a dream job. I wasn't enrolled in school. I was considered to be truant. So Old School provided me with a life coach, and she has been the biggest blessing to my life. She has helped me enroll myself into school. And like we talked about earlier, that I'm finishing my senior year of high school. I am now with my life coach working on signing me up for the fall semester of City College. Once again, before the Old School program, I did not think about pursuing my education any further. So after City College, I do plan on staying there for 2 years. And I want to set up a transfer agreement as far as transferring from City College to a historical Black university. So that is my plan as far as schooling. But overall, for a career, I would aspire to become a neurosurgeon. I want to become a neurosurgeon because I'm looking forward to gaining the education and medicine, and also having the knowledge of being able to save lives.
That is so great. I love your story. You're going to do it. I know it. You are so confident and so brave. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you for this is half you too. Like, you had to take part in the program and be engaged and invested. So, okay, I have one final question. So at Old School, my favorite dish is the peanut butter stew. Do you have a favorite dish?
Yes, Connie, I do have a favorite dish. My favorite dish would be the short rib. There are 2 rib options on our menu, the short rib and the baby back ribs. But the baby back ribs are pork, and I don't eat pork, unfortunately. So I do stick to my short rib. It is beef. It is 100% beef. I love that fact about it. It comes with a perfect creamy mashed potatoes of mashed potatoes. And the dish also comes with Brussels sprouts, which are my favorite vegetables. So
Yum.
I just love the whole meal.
Yum. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining tonight and sharing your story and being vulnerable and open. Really brave.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. All right. So big thanks again to both Amaya and Tiffany for sharing their stories. Just feel like every time I hear these stories, I personally am impacted, and I know it touches people's hearts. And I think we're all here tonight because we really care about the kind of work that Old School is doing, and they need our support now more than ever. So as you heard earlier, Old School has been extremely affected by COVID-19. Not only have they lost revenue from the restaurant closure, but it's really impacted their ability to to hold fundraising events and share what the current needs are. So if you are able to give in any capacity, please join me in supporting this amazing organization. Your donation, every dollar will go towards helping to provide jobs, counseling, and mentorship for young people old school, just like Tiffany and Amaya. Please head to oldschoolcafe.org/giving now, or if you prefer, you can donate by check to the address shown on the screen.
So I'm so grateful. It's been really fun to read your comments. I'm so excited to connect with everybody in a few minutes when we close. So thank you for some of the questions and because one of the things I forgot to mention was, yes, we are going to plan on doing a trial for curbside pickup. I wanted to make sure we got our programming and stuff going, and now that we've sort of got that rhythm, we are getting things worked out this week. So the goal is within about a week, maybe a week and a half, to start doing a few days of limited curbside pickup. So part of your special thing for being here tonight is you guys will have first dibs. So we're going to start with limited amounts and limited quantities. So everybody who's on the call tonight, we are going to send you an email as soon as we are ready to rock and roll, and you will have the first dibs at ordering. And it's going to be really great because we'll have some of the youth will get to come in. They'll bring it right out to the curb, make it super simple. We also, of course, can do drinks now, so that's kind of exciting. You can pop your trunk. You can take an old fashioned with your peanut butter stew or shrimp and grits. So yes, thank you for that question. And I just want to thank you all again. I've been really missing everybody. Feels like about a month, I guess, now. So to get to see all of you is such a gift. And I want to thank those of you that have been supporting. Thank you. I love that you got to see and hear some of the stories. And there's so many more young people that you are impacting. And those of you that have not, that are just learning about us, we invite you to be a part of the Old School family. It's a pretty cool community, as you can see. And so we do ask you, remember the ways you can get involved and give, because it really, truly makes an impact on real lives that you can come in and see. Every day when you come in for dinner, you get to see the impact your dollars are making. So thank you again so much. I can't wait to talk to you in a few minutes.
Awesome. Let me add my thanks also to everyone for coming. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Our past supporters, thank you so much for holding us and caring for Old School. Those who are contemplating, thank you so much. And those who then step forward and raise your hand to remember, dine, donate, share. We all can do it. So as we close, I'm going to announce our two lucky raffle winners. Drum roll, please. We don't have a drum. Here we go. So the winner of our t-shirt is Lislyn Lacoste, and you get this beautiful Old School t-shirt. Yay, congratulations to you. And the winner of our gift card is Kwame Eason. Kwame, congratulations. You've won a Old School gift card. And we'll be in touch with both of you directly via email to follow up with your prizes. So as we close, let me say just one more time, if you haven't heard it enough, you have an opportunity to give. And it's really a critical time in the life of Old School during this COVID virus pandemic. So please do what you can to give and support. With that, returning for one final song are these amazing young people, Elshawn and Lavelle, Melody of Grace duo, for their final song, Hold Me While You Wait.
Waiting up, saving all my precious time. I'm missing my sinfulness, for we learn the truth. Wait, time to fade, fading away till we get to the ground. I need someone to take But in the rain, only while you wait. I wish that I was good enough. If only I could wake you up. Won't you stay away? Tell me more. Tell me something I don't know. Tell me confused. Tell me if you're gonna waste time. Let's twist it right. Hold me while you wait. I wish that I was good enough. If only I could wake you up. Won't you stay away? I wish you could hold. I wish you told me this before. Won't you stay away? This is you, this is me, this is all we need. Is it true? My faith is shaking, but I still believe. This is you, this is me, this is all we need. So won't you stay and hold me while you do? I wish that I was good enough. If only I could wake you up. Won't you stay away? I wish you could hold. I wish you told me this before. Won't you stay away? Stay away. Stay away. Won't you stay away?
Yay! So that's our show. Thank you so much can we give a round of applause for our awesome MCs, Eric and Connie? Thank you. Yay! And Tiffany as well. Thank you guys so much. And our Grace duo. Wow. So it's open. I asked, awesome. I just text Tiffany and Amaya to ask if they'd be willing to stay and hang out in case you guys would like to chat with them and ask them questions as well. So just a reminder to unmute yourself when, raise your hand, or we're all still figuring this out. So it's a chance to see your faces and chat. So feel free to jump in and say hello. Hi, Donna Carol. You guys. Okay, for our I might need some help. So if people are on a different screen, how do I know anybody can pop up? All right, Ben, you wanna want to pop in? I'm not sure because I know we're on the speaker, just one will pop up, but I'm not sure how to see who's.
So Teresa, if you change your view to speaker view,
okay,
then anyone who speaks will pop up on your screen and be the speaker, and then you'll see everyone else at the top of your screen.
Okay. Perfect.
Not at one time, but there'll be a row.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eric.
Absolutely.
Also, if you click on participants, there's on the bottom right a thing that says raise hand. That will show up in everyone's screen, and then you can just call on people.
I don't think I have. We have to change that from the back end, right?
Nope. No, everybody has it. So over on your right, your far right, you should see the participants. Do you see them over there, Teresa?
Hey, Teresa, I'll help you out with this. No problem. I see gallery view and then.
So on the bottom of your screen, click participants. All the way on the bottom.
At the very bottom.
Sorry, I think I had moved my screen over so it was more on the side. Got it.
Yeah, I see. Then it'll show you when people raise their hand.
Hey, Teresa, we've had a couple questions come in through the chat box. So this one is from Gail. Where do graduates go after old school? Yeah, what's kind of their trajectory once they're at old school?
Yeah, great question. So it is all over the board. So we really, even though we use the restaurant sort of our vehicle to help young people find their passion and to be prepared to do whatever is sort of their gifting, their calling. So we have, like Tiffany, screenwriting. We have a neurosurgeon in the making. We've had people, definitely have a lot of young people that gone on to be in restaurants, be chefs and work in the restaurant industry, but we've also had dental hygienists. We've had, trying to think, now I'm blanking on all the different, we've had some musicians.
A barber.
Barber, thank you. We have two that actually have their own business doing barber. We've got, help me out, Tiffany. I'm blanking. But yeah, it's really, people kind of, we have them do a lot of career exploration as well as when they're doing school to try different things. So, and then we will try to get them in an externship or some kind of experience or bring in guest speakers for whatever career interests them. Great question.
Question. I don't know how this works. Can you see my hand? How do I do this?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to say thank you to Teresa. Teresa's younger than me, but she's someone I consider to be a distant mentor. I don't know if you remember talking to me, Teresa, and helping me when I was starting programs inside the San Francisco Juvenile Hall.
Yes.
You put aside time to talk to me, which I really appreciated. And I've just been watching your progress and just been like completely inspired and amazed. And so I have a question about like identifying youth who are ready. So I was able to launch emotional literacy programs and garden programs inside the Marin Juvenile Hall and the San Francisco Juvenile Hall. And obviously they're not happening right now, and we're trying to support kids in other ways. But one thing that has that I've realized over time is that like you can give kids an opportunity, but if they're not ready to take it, then there's not much you can do. And then like if kids are ready but there's no opportunity, that's another, so like how do you find that equation of readiness plus opportunity? Then how do you identify, like, how do you identify kids who are really ready? And then also, what do you do when you give kids an opportunity and they're so unmotivated? You have so much experience with high-risk youth.
So that's an excellent question. And I'm going to give one short answer. And then I'd actually love for Amaya, who's and is really motivated personally. She's also seen people come through and not be ready, and those, and her journey. But so I would, what I would share for my kind of experiences, one of the things that I felt like was a huge thing for me early on was to kind of hold with open hands, and that love doesn't return void. So I remember I had several hard situations one after another with youth, and one was actually even my goddaughter. And so I got super discouraged because I was like, it doesn't make a difference, like, and it is really hard when you pour your heart and time and a young person makes that you love like your own blood makes a choice that's just heartbreaking, that's going to impact their life. And so I think what has helped so much is they may not be ready for 10 years and I may never see the fruit, but I just believe, you think about like teachers and mentors, people that have come into our life, we might not have been ready at the time, but that seed was planted, and that love and that hope and that truth, and they may need to hear it 10 more times, 10 different ways from 10 different people, and then be ready. And so that really helped me to say, hey, hold them with open hands. It really helped me to not get burned out, because I felt like God said, love doesn't return void. So you hold them with open hands. You give 110%. You don't hold back. You give all that love, you give all that opportunity, and then you release them. And it may be that they have to go back to jail one more time. Like, here's one quick story. A young person, it was Old Skool was the first time he had been out of jail his most growing up years for an entire year. And he was still, acting squirrely and making some bad decisions. And then over Christmas break, when we were shut down, the restaurant for a week, he went to party and did something and got locked up. So that seems like not a success, right? That seems like but what happened was he was coming out of his skin, because he was like, oh my gosh, he had a taste of being out of jail for an entire year. Had he not had that, it's like, this is what's normal. I go back to jail, I get out, I do something crazy, I go back. But now he had tasted what it felt like to be out of jail, to make money legally, to have a community support. And so now he made this choice, but now he was ready to do whatever to not end up staying there and going back. And so that next time I felt like that was a shifting point for him, and then he was more ready. So that's sort of my encouragement is, sometimes you get to see it. It's really awesome. A lot of times you don't, and hopefully somebody else, somewhere in their life, they make that decision. So Miss Amaya, would you like to speak to that from a young person that is in that place of
Yeah, sure. So just like you were saying, to hold them with open arms. As far as myself, being in youth, when we all come to Old Skool, we all come at different places of our life. It has taken me some time to understand that, but I do get the understanding now that when we all come from different places. And as far as me being an employee, when we do get new trainees, I do have the mindset that we all are coming for different reasons. So I myself, as a team motivator, I love when our Old Skool team, everything is flowing correctly. I just do my best to encourage. If I personally feel like they're not ready, that's like, I kind of try to develop like a bond with me and my coworkers. As far as I feel like they feel better when the constructive criticism comes from fellow employees instead of the adult staff. So I just try to encourage everyone to try the new things that Old Skool offer. I always tell them, don't close the door before you've seen what's on the other side of it. So that's just I just try my best to encourage everyone. I try to make them understand that there's a bigger picture behind anything that Old Skool offers. I try to tell them to take advantage of the resources that come through Old Skool. So I just try my best to just give positive energy to the team.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you.
Can you come back and run Old Skool as well as being a neurosurgeon, please?
Yes.
Anybody else? So fun to see you guys. Please pop in. I'm excited, even if it's just to say hello.
I have a question.
Hello.
Hi, Teresa. So my name's Shannon, and I interned with Teresa when Old Skool was still in her home, and I went to Westmont College, and it was always really inspiring to hear Teresa love on the community, love on the people, and just really have such a big heart. So thank you so much, Teresa. And it was really cool to see some familiar faces in the video as well. So are Tammy and Abu still involved, it looks like?
So they pop in. We miss them, but they pop in here and there. So I just will sometimes randomly get a call. Tammy will be like, I'm in the city, are you around? And same with Abu. They're pretty good about just staying in touch. They're busy with their grown and doing their lives, but it is really great that we have our space there, because sometimes we get alumni that we'll have special nights where it'll happen to be all alumni at one time that don't know each other is going to be there. So yes, so we don't get to see them all the time, but every once in a while.
Oh, good. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shannon. So good to see you.
You too.
Don't be shy. I see lots of faces I know and love.
Sing a song, Teresa.
Oh, that's all you.
Teresa, it's Emily. I was wondering, so with everybody on the phone, and I had somebody actually ask today, which is nice because they're thinking for the future. Could you talk about restaurant buyouts and opportunities to use your space for events, special events and things like that? Like, could you talk to people a little bit about the restaurant side of like the special events?
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry for reference for people. I had my birthday there this year, and somebody asked me about that opportunity today, and it's such a beautiful space. You don't have to do anything, and it's such a wonderful opportunity to bring a bunch of people into one beautiful venue and promote Old School. So I was just curious if you could kind of talk to people about like some events that have happened there or how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So the easiest way, so on our website, it has where you can make reservations, and also for catering or private event requests, you can just go on our website and fill out a request form. It's as easy as that, and it'll ask you like how many people, dates, things like that. But just like Emily shared, it really is, it's kind of this intimate, speakeasy, jazz, supper club space to have these really special private events. So it's, we can max do about 65 people. So it's not like a huge ballroom. So that's one of the, I think, benefits that you've got. You don't have to bring in stuff to decorate. We kind of did, we can have this sort of intimate, we've had, birthdays. We've had wedding receptions. We've had 2 engagement proposals. That's been super.
Oh
my God. Anniversary parties. We've had, corporate events. I saw Hydra on here. Hydra, you are the one that got, I don't know if you're still on, but you got the Salesforce Foundation to come in and do an event back in the day. So yeah, it's been kind of a variety of different people that have rented it out, but it really is a special thing for our youth too. So the benefit is youth can throw this great party, rent out our space, and we basically, if it's a restaurant night, there's a buyout price. There's a buyout price regardless of the night. It's a little bit more on a restaurant night. And then you get to choose what kind of menu, entertainment. We also have the ability to show, you can show films and slideshows, things like that. We've done speaker events where we've had panelists come and do things. We had Father Boyle come down and speak with a anti-violence panelist group. So it's really this kind of special, intimate space that can be used in any way you want. And the nice thing is, most people are going to spend money on catering and events. They have a budget anyway. And the beautiful thing about this is it's all going to help change lives. So it's kind of a way that you can share it with your friends and community. Hey, we're going to do this anyway. We're going to be giving this money to a venue space and catering. We might as well do it here, expose others to the good cause, and change lives while we're doing it. So did that answer, Emily?
So on a related note, I am turning 55 years young in August, and
happy birthday.
The problem is I would love to, have a dance there or something, but I have no idea if that's actually realistic in August, given the nature of the world. So how does something like and it's gonna maybe, my birthday is unfortunately not moving, but we don't know what the world will look like. How might that work?
Well, that's a great question.
I'd love to bring in my dancer friends and have a dance,
we would love it. So David Chu was going to do his 50th birthday party there, and he's like, "Oh, Teresa, I was just about to call you." And so I'm like, "That's okay. Let's celebrate all the birthdays at the end of the year." So yeah, I would say so for dancing, there is a section that we can move. It just means there's less seating. But what I've done for my birthday, because obviously we're dancing buddies, so we can move by the kitchen. That area, like where you're just walking in, we move all those tables and we make that like a small dance floor, as well as sometimes people will dance on the other side by the door as well. So those are kind of our two areas. So absolutely, we'd love to celebrate your birthday with you.
Okay, we'll figure out. I just have to figure out what the world might look like in August. That's all.
Yeah, social distancing dancing might be a little challenging.
Yes. Thank you. This is lovely, Teresa. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for being so creative with us to figure out how to do these old school events like this. Appreciate it. Hydra, I see you're unmiked. Are you going to say something?
Yeah, just quickly. We're so glad to be back home and to be back and the whole Old School family. I just wanted to remind everybody to not forget to send your check or your donation in. And I just wanted to say that out loud because I just started with Salesforce, and they're actually releasing our matching funds before we do our volunteer work. So the more we volunteer, the more funds we get to match, but they're just releasing our matching funds. So whatever tonight will be doubled through our matching fund. And so I just want everybody to think about they're working to see what your companies are doing, because people are really opening up those doors and trying to be as generous as possible, especially to those in our most vulnerable communities. And so we're just really glad to be back and to be back with you. And we look forward to coming back down to the restaurant soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Hydra. Thank you for that reminder. Gosh, it's just, this is the spirit of Old School, like seeing all of you here and just continue to have that hope and that encouragement and supporting one another in the ways that we can. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Well, if there's no other, what? My sister's on? That's like a miracle. I'm always trying to get her to do video and technology, so this is great. Any other, I'm trying to see if I've missed any questions. Okay. Any other questions before we sign off? I'm just so thrilled. I feel like there's so many faces that I'm dying to talk with. So if we didn't get a chance to catch up tonight, please don't hesitate to send me a note and let's FaceTime. And I'd love to hear. I know I've seen some people from other states and people that supported us in the early days. It's just, yeah. So please reach out. And any other final questions or comments before we go?
I just want to say thank you for being so amazing and inspiring.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again. Thank you for the heart you put into your work. And thank you for continuing to keep going. I'm so thrilled that you're here tonight. And please stay in touch.
I will.
Awesome.
It's going to be my first restaurant that I go to when this is over.
Me too.
No doubt.
I'm serious. I think we're gonna just have like birthdays, like back-to-back birthday parties the end of the year for all of us that are missing our birthdays, right? So, Scott and Linda, I see you raised your hand. Are you saying hello? Did you want to say anything?
No, I was just saying, yeah, I want to have a party. Yeah, and yes, you'll probably be the first restaurant that we go to, and also we'll definitely come for takeout curbside.
Oh,
I do have kind of something that keeps running in my mind is for all of this time, Old School has been a secret. Why is that?
I think that's a really good question. And maybe you all can help me answer that. I think because it was so grassroots, I didn't start with I didn't have kind of this team. So kind of learning all the pieces in our neighborhood, because we're not in a walking neighborhood, right? So it's a little destination. I didn't have any kind of big name chefs or, kind of a lot of those things that sort of, I didn't know how to do social media or PR. So maybe a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how to get the word out there. So, but now I feel like we've really got an incredible group of supporters. So it might just be that tipping point, and people now have a little more bandwidth to hear what's going on. So maybe we'll utilize this time to really spread the word. We'll have, bless you, a line out the door.
Because we have brought people there a lot, and every single time they go, "How come we didn't know about this before?" We always get that reaction. I go, "I know."
Right? I don't know for sure either. So I'm always welcoming, figuring out and how we get the word out. So you guys have been a huge blessing. So thank you. Awesome.
Love you, T.
Well, we love and appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. You guys are such a blessing to all of us, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.